hit away for a single. Well, Peter, alligator arms. Often I'll sit next to you and I'll have no idea what you're talking about. Might be another case. Get down the ground. Powell's got work to do, but he does it well. Just a single.
Have you not seen an alligator in the zoo or in the wild, Lenny? They've got short arms.
We don't have them in Ireland, no.
You spend enough time in other parts of the world, Lenny.
That's true, actually. The country I spend the least amount of time in is probably my alma mater back home. Alligator arms. Didn't think you'd get that in there tonight.
Short ones.
Well, Dipendra Singh Airi, he's quite remarkable, isn't he? You might look at his figures at the end of tonight. If this ball doesn't go for a boundary, he has done a massive duty for his team here. Just knows his game really well, doesn't he? Knows his angles, knows what he's doing with his off breaks. Exceptional. That is a quite brilliant over. 7 runs from it, and USA just had no answer to the Tiger. Nepal, they've really edged the last 3 overs. They have the momentum, but there's still 1 to go. It's 144 for 4.
नमस्ते
भारत तोरी के तेल पाउ न
यो लिनुस् नयाँ आको सस्तो पनि छ
प्राकृतिक ग्राहक भएको विश्वासिलो गुणस्तरीय अनि राम्रो नो कम्प्रोमाइज विथ धारा साउजी
विजयजी बडो स्मार्ट हुनुहुँदो रहेछ क्वालिटी हेर्नु हुँदो रहेछ मूल्य होइन
मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु
Final over. 144 for 4 the score. What can USA get to? Really good fielding from Kushal Bertel. He did misfield one down at long on, but this time he does really well to save at least 1 additional run, if not 3. Do USA have enough here, Peter?
No, for a couple of different reasons. Nepal has had really good batting performances over the course of the first 2 matches. USA is also playing tonight without Ali Khan, so their bowling is a little bit under strength.
This goes a long way up. He hasn't got enough of it. Anil Shah nestles underneath it. And that's the biggest cheer of the night, because Sampal Kami has another in the most halcyon of 2 days for one of Nepal's finest. He's got 3 for... I'm not sure if Anil Shah could see it out of the floodlights, but he managed to hold on. And Jahangir never got going. He's the latest American batter to fall.
Well, you were saying earlier that you thought Dipendra Singh Airi had the Player of the Series award locked up, Lenny. Sampal Kami might have heard you, and he said, I'm going to have a word with you about that. That was the wicket of Mukamala earlier. He's also fetched Shayan Jahangir, caught it long off, out for 9. And it's 145 for 5 in the final over.
नयाँ लक्स अब पहिलो पटक भिटामिन सी र भिटामिन ई को साथ जसले मुहारबाट दाग कम गर्छ र दिन्छ बेदाग निखार नयाँ लक्स हाम्रो उत्कृष्ट साबुन लक्स अब पाउनुहोस् मात्र रु 50 मा
सही खोजौं शुद्ध रोजौं मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु
Sampal Kami charging into him. Hit into the leg side, no real timing. Powell hairs in and manages to cut off the second. That was in between the 2 fielders. This was his 3rd wicket. Peter just outthought Jahangir again. They haven't got to grips with this around the wicket angle.
Nope. And as soon as it came off the bat, he knew it wasn't going to beat Anil Shah at long off. And the fans knew behind Anil Shah. And one of the things that this innings has shown, again going back to the Stephen Taylor discussion, without him in the lineup, USA hasn't had enough disruption in terms of bowling rhythm for the opposition. It's been right-handers all the way. Now you're seeing Harmeet Singh come to the crease in the final over, but USA's lack of left-handers in the lineup has really hurt them. They need more balance.
With Milan Kumar's innings here, 43 off 35. Has he played the role well enough, given it we feel it's a pretty good batting surface again?
I'm not going to fault him. When a lot of other guys in this lineup aren't scoring runs, if you're asking me to criticize a guy who's gotten into the 40s at better than a run a ball, there are a lot of things I will criticize USA about. Andrew Leonard, this isn't one of them.
No, that's more like it. And finally, something to the shorter side. It's Harmeet Singh showing that he does have that ability to clear the ropes, and it's a maximum from the penultimate delivery. It's Harmeet Singh who gets one out of the screws.
Well, I know he's been short of form, but this is why I was saying ad nauseum last night during the Super Over, he should have been out there. He can clear the ropes.
And the 150's up.
And he provides that disruption that I was talking about. You get a left-hand, right-hand combination, it throws the balance back in favor of the batting side because the bowling side struggles to figure out a plan to negate the short boundary on one side.
Final delivery of the first innings should get at least two. Dipendra Singh Airi is going after this like a rocket. He picks up one-handed. He throws flat. Oh, he's nearly created a chance as the relay goes on to the stumps. Well, Usain Bolt out there on the far side has run about 60 yards to get to that. He's gone from deep extra cover to deep backward point in a matter of moments. He's picked up one-handed and he's lasered it in over the top. The fans have loved that and very nearly created a run-out opportunity. An entertaining finish. Nice cameo from Harmeet Singh. Wasn't in there for long, but it could prove an effective one. We saw last night Karen KC's maximum from the final delivery make a huge difference to the course of the contest tonight. Harmeet Singh picks up 10 off just 3 balls, including 9 off the last 2, to get USA up to about what we reckon might be in and around a par total, if anything a little shy of it, at 156 for 5.
USA playing for pride tonight. They've struggled in these first 2 matches, especially at the death, but a good finish there. That's what they needed last night. They didn't get. Harmeet Singh providing a nice surge at the end with 10 runs and just 3 deliveries. But the big story for USA, Saimo Kamala scoring another half century, top scoring in the innings with 68, the 20-year-old out of New Jersey. Looks really fluent until he was dismissed by Sampal Kami, who has starred again. He was the star last night with the ball for Nepal. And he's doing it again here in match number 3 of this Stake Stars and Summits series. 3 wickets for Sampal Kami, who's one of the senior figures in this Nepal squad. And it's even more impressive tonight because he's doing it with Karen KC sitting out. For those just joining us, Karen KC being arrested tonight. That added even more responsibility on Sampal Kami, and he stepped up brilliantly. 3 for 27. Rajan Dakwa, the left armer, with 1 wicket, as well as Lalit Rajbanshi, the left arm spinner, playing his first match of the series, finishes with a wicket as well. The 3 wicket takers for Nepal.
And a special mention too for Dipendra Singh Airi, who bowled 2 of the most difficult overs of the innings, and he only went for 16 from them. Good effort from one of the stars of the show here. So that's going to wrap up our coverage for the first innings. We feel it might be about honours even. The restart time is in about 7 or 8 minutes from now, so don't go anywhere too far. We will be back on air in 6 minutes time from now, where Nepal, to round out a historic 3-0 series clean sweep, they're going to need 157 to win.
नेपाल र युएसए बीच ऐतिहासिक T20 सिरिज यही कार्तिक 2, 4 र 5 गते बिहान 5 बजेदेखि मात्र कान्तिपुर म्याक्स र डिजिटल प्लेटफर्महरूमा। Brought to you by
मेरो मोबाइलमा चल्छ यी सेवा
सही खोजौं शुद्ध रोजौं मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु
पैसा पठाऊ ठाउँको ठाउँ फोन पे डिरेक्ट नगद छोडौ फोन पे गरौ
हाम्रो चाडबाड औटाको खुसियाली बारबार
Momo Mia Pizza. Test the epic. Starting at $7.29. Pizza Hut. There's something for everyone.
ई सेवासँग मनाउनुहोस् महाउत्सव। यसपालि दशैं तिहारमा ई सेवाबाट जुनसुकै कारोबार गर्दा कार जित्ने मौका। यो चाडपर्व गर्नुहोस् ई सेवाबाट कारोबार, चढ्नुहोस् नामीको दामी कार। साथमा iPhone 16 र हात खाली नहुने उपहार। असोज 1 देखि कार्तिक 30 सम्म ई सेवाबाट जति धेरै कारोबार त्यति नै धेरै उपहार। हजारौं लकी विनर्सले जित्न सक्नुहुनेछ विकली र मन्थली क्याशब्याक्स, भाउचर्स, डिस्काउन्ट्स र अरू टन्नै अफरहरू। आजैदेखि टप अप, फ्लाइट टिकट्स, होटल बुकिङ, बिल पेमेन्ट्स र क्युआर पेमेन्ट जस्ता सबै कारोबार ई सेवाबाट गरौँ।
हाम्रो चाडबाड औटाको खुसियाली बारबार
जितौं 10 लाखको उपहार। यसपालिको चाडबाडमा स्क्रैच कार्ड मार्फत जित्नुहोस् 10 लाखसम्मको नगद उपहार। साथै चुज योर स्किमबाट छान्नुहोस् रु 10,000 सम्मको थप स्क्रैच कार्ड वा 12,500 बराबरको 5 वर्ष एएमसी प्याकेज वा 7 वर्षसम्म बाई 1 गेट 1 सर्भिसिङ फ्री अनि बिग बाइक्समा 1 लाखसम्मको डिस्काउन्ट। र यो स्किम होन्डा इजी फाइनान्समा पनि लागू हुनेछ।
पसलमा भ्याइ नभ्याइ हुन्छ। पैसा जति सबै फोन पेबाट सिधै बैंक खातामा गएपछि म त ढुक्क।
कति बताए?
450। फोन पे त मेरो लागि वरदान नै हो। आउँदै गर्नु है।
न क्यास बोक्नु पर्ने न एटिएममा लाइन लाग्नु पर्ने, फोन भए पुग्छ। फोन पे त मेरो लागि लाइफस्टाइल भइसकेको छ।
ट्याक्सी दाइ फोन पे चल्छ है?
चलिहाल्छ नि, बस्नुहोस्।
अब पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ। ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो। हस्, थ्याङ्क यू दाइ।
बिजुलीको बिल तिर्यौ?
तिर त हेर्नुहोस् न, आफ्नो त बिर्सिने बानी। झन् यो बिल थिएन भनेपछि त यादै हुँदैन। तर सम्झिने बित्तिकै फोन पे गरिदिइहाल्छु। फोन पे मेरो लागि भरपर्दो साथी। साँच्ची तिमीले फ्लाइटको टिकट बुक गर्यौ?
मैले हिजै बुक गरिसके भने
फोन पे त मेरो लागि समयको बचत हो।
मेरो लागि विश्वास हो,
स्वतन्त्रता हो।
मेरो लागि आवश्यकता हो।
मेरो लागि सहजता हो।
मेरो लागि दिनचर्या हो।
साउजी,
हजुर,
मलाई तोरीको तेल दिनुस् न।
यो लिनुहोस्, नयाँ आएको, मूल्य पनि कम छ।
नमस्ते साउजी।
नमस्ते।
धारा तोरीको तेल पाउ न।
यो लिनुहोस्।
होइन, मलाई धारा तोरीको तेल नै चाहिन्छ।
सस्तो पनि छ।
धारा तोरीको तेल प्राकृतिक राख भएको, विश्वासिलो, गुणस्तरीय अनि राम्रो। नो कम्प्रोमाइज विथ धारा साउजी।
विजयजी बडो स्मार्ट हुनुहुँदो रहेछ। क्वालिटी हेर्नु हुँदो रहेछ, मूल्य होइन।
साउजी, मलाई पनि धारा तेल दिनुस् न।
मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु।
नयाँ लक्स अब पहिलो पटक भिटामिन सी र भिटामिन ई को साथ, जसले मुहारबाट दाग कम गर्छ र दिन्छ बेदाग निखार। नयाँ लक्स, हाम्रो उत्कृष्ट साबुन लक्स अब पाउनुहोस् मात्र रु 50 मा।
आज पनि तातो मोमो खाने। नो सिनियर, पिज्जा प्लेस। तातो मोमो खाने हो। पिज्जा खाने क्या भाइ? पिज्जा
Why choose between your favorites when you can have both? Introducing Pizza Hut's all-new Momo Mia.
Momo Mia.
The best of both worlds on one plate. Momo Mia Pizza. Test the epic. Starting at $7.29. Pizza Hut. There's something for everyone.
भाग्यले जहिले साथ देला या नदेला तर ई सेवा लाइफ केयरले दिनेछ starting from just rupees 760 a year. Get coverage up to 5.3 lakhs. Download the eSewa app and secure your future today.
Me in Muscat, the history and heritage of the Grange in Aberdeen up in Scotland, the beauty of the VRA in Amstelveen, and of course the fanaticism there at the TU International Cricket Ground in Kirtapur. This facility is as good as any of them, if not better. It's truly world class, and we've been lucky to be here to bring you every ball of this inaugural Stake Stars and Summits trophy. Nepal are going to get their hands on that trophy in about 2 hours' time, or 90 minutes from now, depending upon how long the second innings goes. But they would love to do it with a little exclamation point at the end, with a 3-0 clean sweep fashion to it. They've been excellent throughout this series. Still not quite sure how they won last night, but they fought back again. USA mustered just 28 runs on a very good batting surface between overs 15 and 19, and they needed a little late surge from Harmeet Singh, who came in at number 7, who made 10 off just 3 balls, to muster things up to 156 for 5. We think it might just be a fraction under par, but we should be in for, again, a really good and very tightly fought game. Anil Shah is going to open the batting alongside Asif Sheikh for the 3rd consecutive time in the series, and again Saurav Netravalkar has got the new ball in hand. Aaron Jones is in there at sort of a second slip, and
what happened?
We're going to guide you through every ball of the remainder of this series. Andrew Leonard alongside Aman Patel. Aman, another entertaining innings, but USA must feel as though they've left 15 or 20 plus runs out there.
Probably a little bit more than that. They had that partnership that they needed between Milind Kumar and Saiteji Mukamala, and just unable to capitalize on it. The power hitting wasn't there. They wanted Shayan Jahangir to be that man. Harmeet Singh found a couple runs, but now all on the bowlers.
Something that Nepal probably haven't done in this series with real consistency. They had a good partnership for the openers in the first T20, but they haven't really started incredibly well, have they? They've kind of taken a little while to adjust, and a lot of that's been down to the skills of Saurav Netravalkar. But there's no Ali Khan tonight. Some Nepal fans may not have seen Janoy Drysdale before, but they'll see him with probably the new ball alongside Netravalkar.
Yeah, Janoy Drysdale's a different flavor of pace than Ali Khan. Probably not as quick, but gets a little bit more bounce off the wicket with a little bit of ways movement. So he keeps you on the back foot, gets a little bit of that lateral movement. But you mentioned these openers. The thing they've done well, keep themselves in the middle. Don't throw wickets away.
Down the leg side, flicked around the corner. Not a particularly good effort from Andreas House with the gloves. We'll wait for the signal. It's given as leg buys, but it will be the first runs. And if you're wondering who the majority of the 1,500, maybe 2,000 fans that we have in are cheering for, they seem to be cheering for Nepal.
Seems to be that way all throughout the series, Lenny. It doesn't feel like we're quite in Dallas, Texas, and Andres Khelsos was disappointed on that. Thought he should have gotten to it in his own right. He's moved quick enough, but the gloves are there and just went right underneath him. But yeah, the atmosphere of this Grand Prix Stadium has been phenomenal. I remember I was down there for the last couple of overs, including the super over, and the roar you got when you got sent into end of regulation. Just incredible.
It'll just be a single, the first runs off the bat. There is Drysdale. Spoken a lot in that first innings about, well, the myriad of selection options that USA have. They almost have too many players. We've probably forgotten half a dozen, if not more, that are there or thereabouts. But Drysdale isn't one of the young options, but he is a very new man to international cricket. He's come in his 30s. He's been really impressive for me since he's debuted just 2 months ago.
Yeah, he was impressive the first time I got to see him in 2022 with the Philadelphians in minor league cricket. Watched a little bit of tape on him as before he came down to Church Street Park, and again, bowled predominantly on AstroTurf up there. He's played a lot of his cricket in the Caribbean. And he's taken that since to Philadelphia, now on hybrid surfaces. It was good this year, and he's been great for the USA. It's the real beauty of minor league cricket as well. You've seen a lot of these guys being able to perform. The Shaheen Jahangir is another great example of that. In the minor league, performing and then getting that next level bump.
Can you explain, not to the fans in America, the American fans will know it well, but to those around the world and those watching from Nepal, the difference between minor league and major league? There's not just a huge gulf in standard, but also just the scope and the scale of the tournament.
Yeah, minor league is 26 teams now, all spread out all across the country, so from California all the way to the East Coast, and they're split up into 4 divisions. You have an East, a South, a Central, and a West, and so it allows all domestic cricketers to play. So you have to be of domestic. You get 1 wild card, so we saw Rohan Mustafa actually in the league this season, former captain of the UAE. You see the field shift to add another member into the onside. And it allows the best of the best to play with each other. So Sarabh Nevalkar's bowling to Saitej Mukamala consistently, and that's why we've seen so much progression, I think, of the standard of cricket headed into Major League, as Major League's more your franchise, your IPL competition, versus your minor league would be your county cricket, your Ranji Trophy style.
So the minor league, it probably allows more opportunity for American qualified and homegrown players. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, 100% fair to say. Again, that's where everyone gets your start. So Hassan Khan started there. Even Saitej Mukamala was able to really progress in that region. So you see a lot of guys born here, and I think that's been the biggest gap it's filled. A lot of times in the USA, you lose guys between the under-19 cycle and the national team. If you don't quite make it on your first go, you probably drop the sport. So minor league's given an outlet for a guy like Skandar Rohit Sharma to keep playing and make his way to a USAA side.
A single to round out the first over, just 6 come from it. And 1 boundary was that 4-leg boys. 1 over in the books in the chase. It's 6 for none.
भाग्यले जहिले साथ देला या नदेला तर ई-सेवा लाइफ केयरले दिनेछ. Starting from just ₹760 a year. Get coverage up to 5.3 lakhs. Download the e-sewa app and secure your future today.
They had Jagan out there on the East Coast. They had people down in Texas. So you're seeing teams start to really ask about the minor league. And you can see minor league playing an impact on the draft as well. Hassan Khan, the second pick in Major League Cricket last season, was because he came into minor league, struck it at 180, averaged over 100. So it didn't get out and hit the ball a long way. And Janoy Drysdale picked up into Major League as well due to minor league performances, and now bowling here in Dallas, Texas.
Some wonderfully named teams as well, aren't there? Like, I know in Major League, the Orcas and the San Francisco Unicorns, they're great teams to think about the way they're named, and they're very evocative. But give us some of the flavors, some of your favorite in minor league as well.
Well, in minor league, you got the San Diego Surf Riders, where Marty Kane was over there. We've seen the emergence of, we started out with the Hollywood Master Blasters. That was always a fun one to say. The Baltimore Royals have come to mind. Fort Lauderdale Lions, I think, is one of the good alliterations on there. Plenty of those really fun team names out there. St. Louis Americans also just flows out of there.
The SoCal Lashings. They were one out.
They're now the Los Angeles Lashings.
Oh, are they now the Los Angeles?
So now you got the LA Lashings involved.
In the leg side, that'll be given as a wide. I really like the Philadelphians as well. And for those who know their American cricket history, obviously that was kind of the original hub of the game, and there still is some beautiful grounds there. It's played on, is it fair to say, a big mix, a variety of facilities, from kind of the excellent ones like you have here to those that are kind of more burgeoning, maybe sometimes in public parks?
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of them in public parks. The one thing about it now compared to season 1 is that you're playing everything on either pure turf or it's hybrid wicket, so nothing on artificial anymore. And I think that's been the big step that minor league has taken. Everyone's playing on really close to natural surfaces.
Just a flick of the thigh pad is the indication from the umpire. I think that's a good decision. That's why it's not given as a wide. It was only half an appeal, really. But the pace and bounce of Drysdale is going to cause problems. There is a huge amount of cricket as well, isn't there, across America? The exact figures are hard to gauge, but they reckon in and around 200,000 cricketers playing every single week throughout a season that can be really long, can't it? It can span almost sort of 10 of the 12 months of the year.
Yeah, because you have such a big country of so many different weather patterns and time zones that here in Texas you can play basically all year long. The Drysdale continues, and then in North Carolina, where I'm from, you play around from March to November-ish, and we have 3 different formats over there. You have a T20 format, a 40-over format, and then there's a tennis ball format that plays all year round. Everyone's out there. It'll be January and about 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're still out there playing under the lights. They love cricket. I think that's the big misconception, is that there's not a lot of cricket played. There's so much cricket played, and there's hubs. North Carolina, New Jersey, the Bay Area is a big hub. Atlanta's got a hub. Dallas is starting to become a big one.
Even the Midwest, Chicago, there's a huge amount of cricket, not just in the city, but in the suburbs too. As Sheikh tries to make some room, but doesn't get anything on it. Might have kept a touch low. Have you seen a big impact then from the World Cup run? It started to hit areas in terms of the media coverage and wider public knowledge that really has never been in American cricket. Well, certainly in the last 50 or 100 years.
Yeah, 100%. I think being part of Major League, and you were down there as well more, so getting to talk to some of the crowd there, they're like, I watched the USA World Cup game, and I wanted to come to this. And it's like, that's a really cool thing to experience. You see news outlets now really interested. I've had a couple reach out, be like, hey, what's the story on this guy here? Because we saw him play in the World Cup. And you're seeing a real care and a genuine interest starting to bloom almost just internally. And that's the real natural thing you like to see about our natural interests start to come in that feels way more sustainable.
Yeah, certainly does. Always good to talk all things American cricket with Aman Patel. We got Peter Della Penna, who certainly the doyen, isn't he, of all things American cricket. He's off, I hope, not finding some alligator arms for his lunch right now. Or his dinner. Forget we're under the floodlights. It's been a great 3 days of cricket, it really has, and in many ways this is kind of the appetizer, isn't it? You talk about those 6 ODIs that we have coming up next week, the importance of them. That short ball will round out an excellent start from Janoy Drysdale. He continues to impress me every time we see him, and with 2 overs bowled, it's 8 for none.
दाइ फोन पे चल्छ है चलिहाल्छ नि बस्नुस् अब पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो
पैसा पठाउने र पाउने छिटो सजिलो र सुरक्षित माध्यम फोन पे डाइरेक्ट नगद छोडौं फोन पे गरौं.
Actually, having some practices out on the outfield, they've used the nets a couple of times, and so they're ready, primed up to go. And these points are so vital. For those of you who don't follow Cricket World Cup League 2, it's your opportunity to get into that ODI World Cup, into the ODI World Cup qualifiers, and then from there you can jump in there. That's how the Netherlands got there. That's how the West Indies missed out in this 2023 edition. So a lot on the line. Again, these 6 games will be really exciting. If the wickets stay like this, and all indications say they will be, played 3 games on the same surface, there's plenty in it for the bats of all 3 parties.
Yeah, and certainly if you look at that table, Nepal need to get winning, don't they? There's a huge amount of cricket to be played. It'll run all the way to December 2026. But they don't want to get themselves in the position of needing another miraculous run like they had in 2023. I've just found the going a little bit tough, particularly up in Canada. As Anil Shah tries for the big hit. Neither of these 2 openers have looked in great form, have they? Kushal Patel was the hero last night. Rohit Paudel in the first T20. They almost look like they're trying to overhit a touch.
Yeah, it does feel as if they haven't found full flow. The one thing you'll say compared to the USA top order is they've just been able to hang in there and take the brunt of Saurabh Netravalkar and Ali Khan in days past, now Janoy Drysdale, and allow a Kushal Patel to come in, or Rohit Paudel to come in just a touch later, come in without the seamers going, come in with maybe the 3rd seam option in Jesse Singh, where they could attack the spinners bowling there. And so that's what you want to happen from your openers, at least see off that initial spell, especially when you're not chasing a huge total. You can live with this early on.
Well, that's much more like it, and that one's not coming back. It's gone many a mile. Maybe the shorter boundary, but that would have been 6 on the larger one. Netravalkar just getting the line wrong. And the key was there, Asif Sheikh doesn't try to overhit, just goes with it and gets it all the way for the first maximum of the chase.
Yeah, shades of Saeed Mukamala against Arif Sheikh in the first innings. It just straight down the leg side. You can see him step out to that direction, and he's just not trying to turn his wrist too much. He's just helped it on its way. Understanding it's a shorter ground. Mr. Volker not the quickest in the attack, but plenty of pace on it to just carry it over the top. And like you rightfully said, Lenny, you can just see what happens when you hold the shape. The real difference between a Mukamala and maybe a Monik Patel in the American innings. And you mentioned here for Nepal, this is what the openers have done well. They've held their shape pretty consistently throughout the 3 days of cricket.
Consecutive delivery. Won't get Netravalkar on consecutive deliveries altogether too often. Much better line that time. Yeah, I actually find those ODIs that we have coming up, you and I will be on call for those on the ICC's platforms, Aman. I find them really hard to predict. I have no idea. Will the USA continue their excellent form and go unbeaten? Will they look a bit out of sorts to me? Not just necessarily with their form. It's not the fact they've lost, just their body language looks a little bit negative. I don't know, is there something going on in the camp maybe? But Nepal have found their stride. And in Scotland, they're just so consistent, aren't they? And they are brilliant to watch. The big hammer blow for them, though, George Munsey ruled out with that groin injury. They've got a great replacement, a man who made a century in his ODI debut earlier this summer. But no Munsey, who you could argue has been the best associate batter in the world this year, that's a hammer blow.
Yeah, he's a rock, right? He just, whenever you need it, he gives you it. That's kind of the Deepinder Singh I read in the Nepal form. He's just always available, always finds a way to impact the game with the bat in hand. Like you mentioned, he's just in an incredible run of form so far, Munsey. You mentioned trying to predict those ODIs. The USA, like you rightfully said, there's just something off. You can just feel it as you're walking in. You see Nepal, they feel connected, the way they run off the field, the way they walk in, versus the USA. Seems as if they're lacking a little bit of bite that they maybe had in June. They'll close out over number 3. Netravalkar responds well after being hit for a maximum. It's 17 without loss.
Ready? 1, 2, 5, go!
Bye-bye.
Introducing new Honda Dio 125.
सही खोजौं शुद्ध रोजौं मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु
मेरो मोबाइलमा चल्छ यी सेवा.
So we ignored those and we asked for some sense as the Nepal fans are really getting into it. But the team in Nepal, up in King City, the Nepal team, they were as together as I've ever seen them at any point, and they weren't far away. They really weren't. I'm going to dash a quick single this time as Drysdale continues. So if you looked at those scorecards, you'd have said, well, they're nowhere, they're gone. But all the posts I've seen on social media over the last 48 hours have been, we're back. I know you sent me one. I loved that one. It was like a graph, wasn't it?
It was almost, you're looking at a life chart. It's just going,
the cardiac kids.
Cardiac kids, exactly. We're back. It's never been more over. We're so back. It was just, you're riding the highs and falling the lows. That comes with passionate fans. You tend to see that.
You're of a younger generation. I know we share very similar views on many things in live cricket in particular, but you love a meme as well, don't you?
I love a meme.
There's been some good ones going around this
Lenny,
series.
I'm Gen Z. I gotta love a meme, don't I?
Yeah, that's a great stroke. That's Anil Shah at his fluent best. It's gone a long way, but not all the way. 1 bounce and 4. Banged into the surface by Drysdale. He was sitting on the back foot, almost expecting it, and Shah gets his first boundary.
This is one criticism you'll have with Janoy Drysdale. He just tends to get stale after you've seen him once. He doesn't rush you with his pace if you're expecting the short ball. He gets too short, and it doesn't matter what generation you're a part of, you're going to enjoy that shot.
Shows how true this surface is yet again. And I know Dave Agnew, the head groundsman, the head curator here, said, do not mention me on air under any circumstances. I'm not going to listen to you, Dave. You and your team have done a brilliant job again. And that's nicely guided. That might be 4 more. Look at how good the surface is, and look at how quick the outfield is. The Nepal fans are getting on top of USA here now.
It's just brilliant work from Anil Shah. Not much wrong with that delivery. It wasn't that wide. He just created the room and opened the wrist very, very late. And he's able to squeeze it past that short third fielder. The one thing for Janoy Drysdale, pitch it up. They're just camping on the back foot. You get the extra bounce. If you're able to just find a head of a good length, you can then surprise them as they try to drive through covers. Brilliant stuff here from Anil Shah.
Yeah, back-to-back boundaries, and all of a sudden, the scoreboard's starting to move in this power play. Tries to make it 3 in a row. Now there's a man out there. He's picked him out, and it's put down. Oh, Jesse Singh. He did all the hard work. He got into the right position, and that might be the biggest cheer of the night.
They're loving it because they get to see their bats out there. I'm not sure he got into the right position there, Lenny. He hasn't gotten underneath the ball. That's the big thing. You see him with a dive forward in the end. It's a longer side of the ground, a lot of work to do. Comes high off the bat face, and you'll see him. He's reaching forward. He's never underneath it, never able to settle his hands. And that's the difference between catches taken and not. You often say you take catches with your feet. If your feet are in the right position, you're going to find it right in your palms.
Short, guided away, and only probably half a yard in front of Harmeet Singh, who feels quite well on the bounce. USA have had a chronic issue throughout this series with their positioning of their fielders on that larger side. Yet again, it's gone wrong.
And they finally got it right. He's positioned correctly. It's gone exactly where he stepped. Janoy Drysdale's gotten away with this one as well. That's short wide. Probably could have been hammered away over third, but he's just picked out Harmeet Singh. USA created the opportunity, and that just feels like the story of this tour. They've had opportunities to win these games. They just let it go to waste.
Now that's an authoritative stroke. In fact, one of the strokes of the evening. It's not going to be 6, but it will be 4 more. It's a massive over. It could well have had a wicket in it, but instead there's been 3 boundaries and 16 runs in total from it. It's 33 for none.
No, senor. Picture, please. Picture, honey. Picture coming. Picture.
Why choose between your favorites when you can have both? Introducing Pizza Hut's all-new Momo Mia.
Momo Mia.
The best of both worlds on one plate. Momo Mia Pizza. Test the epic. Starting at $7.29. Pizza Hut. There's something for everyone.
It's amazing how cricket can turn. I think if you look at the form of the two sides coming into this series, you would have expected maybe USA being favourites for a 3-0 clean sweep of this series. Instead, right now, Nepal are very much in control. They're going to win this series no matter what. But they're in control of their own destiny. It could well be a famous 3-0 away from home win here as Jesse Singh comes into the attack. And this looks very close and is given. And Singh roars with delight, and rightly so. I think for me that's a good call on first viewing. Only question might have been height, but it's the back foot, and the crowd that were reaching fever pitch have been silenced.
Well, the roar there from Jesse Singh, I think, is because he's the one who dropped Anil Shah, and now he's taking that wicket here. It's angled in. It's hit him right in front of the middle stump, and I reckon it's a good call. It's hit him on the back leg. Again, very close, but I think that's gone on to hit the top of middle and leg. Jesse Singh gets in on the act, and just what the USA needed as Nepal started to ramp things up. It's 33 for 1 now in the 5th.
भाग्यले जहिले साथ देला या नदेला तर ई सेवा लाइफ केयरले दिनेछ starting from just ₹760 a year. Get coverage up to 5.3 lakhs. Download the eSewa app and secure your future today.
Kushal Bertel, who hadn't made an international 50 since all the way back in March. His form was so poor at the top of the order that he was dropped down to number 5, 6 and 7 up in Canada. And now having probably shown a bit in the nets and maybe some discussions amongst the brain trust. Maybe a little bit of Pupadu Dasanayaka's influence, who's back involved with Nepal as a mentor here. They've got him back not to the top of the order, but to this new role of number 3. And you'd imagine with the way he played last night, he could be at number 3 for quite a while to come.
Yeah, he's almost locked that position up. And the thing that you loved about him at number 3 was just his intent from ball 1. He was looking to find runs, wasn't looking to slog it around or maybe search for boundaries, but he was going to use his feet. He kept bowlers off balance. And that's almost what you want out of your number 3. You don't allow wickets to fall quickly, and that way the bowling side never feels like they're ahead of the game. That was a real difference in the first innings of match number 2.
And he'll get off the mark. The cheers, there's a great atmosphere building up again. Plenty of fans enjoying the floodlit action. You feel that in a series that's had some contentious LBW decisions, this call is spot on the money.
Yeah, it feels pretty stock standard here from Samir Bandekar. Again, it's hit him on middle stump. The question is height. It's hit him on the thigh, but because it's the back foot in the crease, I reckon that's just gone on to clip the bail of middle and leg stump.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent decision. And I know we've probably been unusually critical of the umpires. There's been, well, a few tough calls. That one was spot on, so credit to umpire Bandekar there. There's Mayank Patel, the captain of the USA. Can't do anything about his batting now, nor can Aaron Jones, the vice-captain. They're in the covers together at cover point and extra cover. But they'll be trying to find a way to plot an American victory. As much as anything, I know it's a different format, but very important in terms of going into those ODIs.
Hey, you need a little bit of momentum. Again, it's been a heartbreaking series. That's super over. You should have won that game. 7 from the final over. You take the batting side 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, big stroke attempted. I don't think he's got enough of it. Harmeet Singh runs back and, well, barely gets an arm on it. You just never look comfortable underneath it. It is a drop chance, albeit a very difficult one. And the difference in the standard of fielding between USA and Nepal, well, it's night and day.
It's been the real difference of the series. Harmeet Singh standing there at mid-on, so he's got a long way to track back. It is a shorter side of the ground, but he was just never there. He never got to the position to be able to take the catch. Again, very tough running backwards and taking a catch, especially under floodlights. But Harmeet Singh holds himself to such a high standard. You feel like he should have taken that.
It's a chance. To add insult to injury, how often do you see this? The ball after the drop chance, he just slashes it away. Stand and deliver stuff, gave himself some room, gets on top of the bounce and gets 4. 5 have been bowled. It's 40 for 1.
Really different from soap. Ordinary soap dries itself over time. So imagine what it can do to your skin. But Dove is different. Dove contains 1/4 moisturizing cream, richly blended with mild cleansers, making it softer and more radiant. Get your radiance with Dove.
पैसा पठाऊ ठाउँको ठाउँ फोन पे डाइरेक्ट नगद छोडाऊ फोन पे गरौ.
Bad on it. Sheikh does really well. Quick hands through the ball. Just opened the face away from that sweep recover fielder. Found 4 runs of his own. And this has been a really good start. And it allowed Kushal Bortel to kind of just settle in to the innings now.
Good to see spin for the first time in this second innings. Probably the 8 overs of left arm spin we'll see, and maybe something from Milan Kumar with the 2 left-handers in Nepal's lineup today. Nosh Kenjigate into the attack. Yeah, we've spoken about that super over a lot, obviously, from last night. Man, it was a sensational game, an unforgettable game. Did you see one little post on social media I want to bring to you? Well, what a stroke. He's certainly back in form, isn't he? Because that's out of the ground. That may well be the shot of the series. A skip down the track and it's launched, well, 100 metres plus all the way, bouncing down the main highway and Grand Prairie.
Well, how about that from Kushal Bhurto? You can just see the confidence flowing. He's run at Nash Kenjige, not something many cricketers find success doing. He's picked it up off the length. And again, this was the intent we're talking about, the fearless nature of cricket. He's always searching for runs. And Puburu Dasanaika promoting him alongside Monty Desai to number 3. Well, what a stroke of genius that's proving to be.
And maybe one of the loudest cheers of the entire series as well. Simply outstanding. And this is what we saw from Bertel when he first came into the T20I game. It was at the top of the order. It was fearless cricket. And yes, he had a very lean 6 months. But this is the same player. Remember, he made 99 against Zimbabwe in the Cricket World Cup qualifier last year. And he's very much a fan favourite, much like a Dipender Singh Airi, much like a Rohit Paudel, and much like the returning Sandeep Lamachani. We'll see him in the ODIs. Believe he's just landing into USA today. Now a power sweep, bang bang from Bertel. Might not quite have the legs to get to the rope, but Jesse Singh will only be able to save 1 run. They'll get back for an easy 3. Kenjige hasn't quite looked his usual self, has he, in this series?
I don't think he's looked his usual self really since coming back into international colours this year. He's had one tour where, okay, you're back into it, but you haven't seen him been able to really execute his plans the way he wants to. You've seen him struggle with the variations. Again, he's so skilled, but for whatever reason, he just hasn't quite found the money. And I think the intent from these two bats have really taken to him.
Just wanted to get to that post on social media. Kastab Gudapati, one of the best statisticians going around on the various platforms. On Twitter, he was saying that there's only ever been 2 grounds that have hosted a tied international in the same year. Palakkele back in 2012, both in the T20 World Cup, where Sri Lanka and the West Indies beat New Zealand in the Super Over. And this ground here, Grand Prairie, of course, most famously. Sheikh swings and misses. USA beating Pakistan via that Super Over thanks to the boundary off the last ball that got them there. And then last night, Nepal beating USA in the Super Over. They could beat the full member Pakistan, but they couldn't beat Sampal Kami in Nepal. Down the leg side, the 50s come up inside the power play.
And then you mentioned beating Pakistan. The USA feel like Pakistan right now. They're just all over the place, heads all over. They don't really know what to do. Whilst Nepal are coming in with a plan, and they're just playing their natural brand of cricket, similar to what the USA did just 4 months ago.
Swept away. There's a lot of real estate out there, and Jesse Singh has an awful lot of work to do. But he almost gives it up. He slides around the wrong side of the ball. Kenjige's first over goes for 14. Nepal are well in control of this chase at the end of the first power play. It's 54 for 1.
भाग्यले जहिले साथ देला या नदेला तर ई सेवा लाइफ केयरले दिनेछ starting from just ₹760 a year. Get coverage up to 5.3 lakhs. Download the eSewa app and secure your future today.
End of the power play in the USA. They're seeing their chances of winning this match come to an end. And my goodness, what a show we've seen as the spinner comes in. You think to try to take a wicket, not finding it. Look at this, played away. But Peter De La Pena, you joining me here. This dive from Jesse Singh, questionable to say the least.
Well, he used this technique early in the over, and it's not really what you get taught. You want to get behind the ball. He's letting it pass him with the intention to corral it on the opposite side, if you will. Very strange technique. As Jesse runs in again, he was luckless in his previous over. After taking that wicket, he could have had 3 wickets in the over. And the fielding, Harmeet Singh skying one. Excuse me, it was Asif Sheikh skying one that Harmeet Singh couldn't latch onto. Difficult chance, but that's the way things have gone tonight. Jesse Singh himself put one down in the field in the fourth over. And this has not been a weekend to remember for USA, as Asif waits to get this one from Jesse.
And not a weekend to remember. And again, not the way I think many people would have thought this weekend would have gone. Remember, coming into this series as USA with all the momentum, they were the side that was really flying high, and Nepal coming off a really tough tour of Canada. It just felt this was the time where the USA could really put their foot onto Nepal. But Nepal has responded brilliantly.
And part of that response has been the support they've gotten in a quote-quote away series, which has morphed into a home series. The noise went down there for a couple overs earlier, and the noise is incredible. Change of pace from Jesse. Foxes, Asif, Sheikh trying to keep him off balance and does it well. Trying to rein in the run rate here, but the noise for a crowd. Yesterday, the official number I got from the officials doing the ticket taking was 1,800. Felt like twice that many.
It did.
And again tonight, probably around 1,300, 1,400. They had 800 tickets pre-sold. They had at least a few hundred walk-ups come in tonight. And the noise from the crowd has sapped the energy out of USA in the field. You can see the body language. And even more body language from Asif Sheikh with authority, pumping that one over mid-off for 4.
You mentioned the looks in the field. Well, look on Jesse Singh. That's just a real nothing delivery. It's sat there up in the slot. It's wide. That's not where he's going to want to bowl it. It's tough coming back-to-back on consecutive days in bowling, but that's no good at any level of cricket, Peter. It's a hit-me ball, and Nepal are doing all the damage at the moment.
Yeah, that's the Jesse Singh delivery you would have expected from 5 years ago. Not somebody with the amount of experience he's accumulated in recent years. And again, the noise from the fans here has really given Nepal an extra spark, whereas, again, USA in the field, they just look very flat. Get just a single for this one, going to that short boundary on the west side of the ground as Jahangir relays in. You were out there. I know you were talking about it at the end of last night's game. You were on field. What's the noise like for you when you've been outside?
It's been deafening, for sure. I was standing out by the sports bar and grill, and the last ball, 2 needed from it, and when they don't get it, the roar from that was spectacular there in the black seats, and again, the crowd has just been very vibrant. But what I also noticed is you see the expressions of the USA players. I think most predominantly to, the way Andres Kels was almost reacting to Jesse Singh, who wasn't looking for a second run at one point, only went with the single. You can just see that right now. There's just a little bit of complacency settling in. 7 gone, it's 60 for 1.
दाइ फोन पे चल्छ है
चलिहाल्छ नि बस्नुस्
अब पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो
पैसा पठाउने र पाउने छिटो सजिलो र सुरक्षित माध्यम फोन पे डाइरेक्ट नगद छोडौं फोन पे गरौं
Stage USA was 54 for 2 after 7. Nepal 60 for 1 after 7. They can afford to have a quiet over. They're still ahead of the run rate as Kenjige continues. Tell you what else I've noticed, Aman, is the fans down there, they're well lubricated, shall we say. Aman, they're enjoying a bit of beverages on the concourse, and why not? This is 2024. Cricket is meant to be fun. This isn't your cricket and whites and tea and crumpets. This is flashbang, high-octane cricket. And the fans are embodying that off the field. Yes, raise a glass. Raise a glass, my friend. We're here to have a good time.
They're enjoying it. I mean, why not? Your team is up 2-0. You can see the photographers getting in there. They're coming in with signs, flags. They've really added so much. And again, the roars every time anybody in Nepal do anything or even have a chance of anything happening have just been electrifying, to say the least. And Peter, also what I'll tell you is that they're so passionate after the games too, that I remember yesterday after the post-match presentation, Rohit Bodo getting almost just flagged down by every fan in attendance. You had Kushal Patel taking photos with everybody, and the players seem to just have this infectious energy. They spoke about how it's cool to win away from Nepal, but it feels like they're winning at home, and that's something that has really allowed them to tap into what feels like an extra gear.
Great placement. Impeccable placement by Asif Sheikh. Threads the needle through backward point. Beats Jahangir at sweeper. Another boundary for Nepal.
Smart batting from Sheikh again, seeing that sweeper cover is very much towards an extra cover position. He just had to get it behind square and through the infield. He used the pace of Kenjige, who put it on that occasion, not that wide. And you're just seeing Asif Sheikh really come into his own in this innings. It's been dry for him so far in Dallas, but good signs as they head towards the ODIs.
They're going to look for two, and it's placed perfectly yet again. So much green grass on that east side boundary, and USA, even with somebody the likes of Aaron Jones, who's got some of the quickest legs on the team, he still can't cut it off as they, quite frankly, sauntered that too, Aman. That was casual. Took their foot off the accelerator halfway back down the pitch for the second run. And this time, it's hit a bit too firmly towards Saimo Kamala. Coming in at long on, so they'll take just a single to wrap up a 9-run over. 69 for 1 after 8.
One, two, five, go! On the Honda Dio.
Bye bye.
On the Honda Dio.
Introducing new Honda Dio 125.
सही खोजौं शुद्ध रोजौं मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु
मेरो मोबाइलमा चल्छ यी सेवा.
Want to Patel get Andres Kraus. For the USA, they just don't seem to get that second one consecutively. It did happen maybe one time with Harmeet and Nash combining, but they'll find one wicket, and Nepal never seemed to give up any momentum after that. They never turned one into two.
Well, and you can see how desperate USA is to reverse that domino effect by bringing Saurabh Netravalkar back into the attack for his third over here in the 9th, instead of being able to hold him back for some death overs with Ali Khan sitting out tonight. Monak Patel, the USA captain, recognizes he needs a wicket now, or else this match is going to spiral out of control very quickly.
And we're curious to see how this affects the ODI squad. Again, another pace option feels like it would have been really valuable. Seeing what Abhishek Bardakar could have done in this scenario would have been really valuable. You would have felt headed into the ODIs where, you don't have any back-to-backs, but, with Ali Khan's injury history, with Saurabh Netravalkar coming back international cricket, just to have the extra young legs going.
Good this time from Netravalkar. Now, one of the other things you were talking about before the break, Aman, after the last over, was how much energy this crowd is bringing, and it continues after the match. The players sticking around to take pictures and sign autographs for the fans who continue to line the boundary. They're not in a rush to leave Grand Prairie Stadium and go home. Not only are they not in a rush to go home from the stadium, they're not in a rush to go home after they leave the stadium, because you go to any of the restaurants in Irving and the surrounding areas, they're having their Momo. I went to one of them last night. It was after midnight, well after midnight. The place was still packed. There were at least 50 Nepal jerseys inside the restaurant, chowing down on steamed Momo. And it just adds to the atmosphere, adds to the community vibe that you're getting here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and specifically in Grand Prairie and Irving. Grand Prairie itself, if you look at it on a map, it's a very bizarrely shaped city. It's almost like a very thin strand. It goes north-south about 10 or 15 miles, but east-west it's only about 2 or 3 miles wide. So you get Irving that straddles it, you get Arlington that straddles it, and you go up Beltline Road, and all along Beltline Road to the north of the stadium, as you get into Irving or Grapevine or some of the other areas, again, You get so many Nepalese restaurants, Nepalese cafes, and it just highlights how vibrant this community is to support Nepal. And they're very hospitable. They've got great spirit. They're serenading Aaron Jones, even though it's a day after his birthday. Some of the fans out here, some of the Nepal fans, are serenading Aaron Jones with a happy birthday. That's a spirited cricket moment for Andrew Leonard. He's not in the box right now, but that would bring a tear to his eye. And this will bring a tear to USA's eyes. And a happy tear for Nepal fans as that one clears the sight screen. Asif Sheikh is on fire.
Straight as you like, and my goodness, our camera crew might need to get some helmets on, maybe some protective gear, because that one has just gone under them. Yeah, take away, boys. Well done surviving that one. And the USA are scrambling for answers because this has just been an absolute demolishing. Even Sarabnat the Volker can't escape it. There's not much wrong with the delivery. It's probably just a touch too wide after it's cut off the wicket. They get hit very, very straight, very, very firmly, right in to the bottom of that scissor lift. And again, well done by camera folks to just stick in. Didn't see them panic at all.
Well, that's an American-made scissor lift. It's industrial strength. It's going to survive a six from Asif Sheikh. It's not going to crumble. The camera operators, part of the crew here, they're doing fine work. They had the confidence that everything's going to be all right. It's not all right, though, for the USA bowlers, as Nepal continue this onslaught here in the chase as they pursue a 3-0 series sweep here in this Stake Stars and Summits trophy here at Grand Prairie Stadium. What do you do if you're USA right now? Where is the answer coming from?
You haven't seen Harmeet Singh. I can't imagine why you haven't seen Harmeet Singh. I get Sarabnat the Volker could probably give you a wicket, but Harmeet Singh's been the pick of the bowlers in this series. I had to imagine you go to him at some point. He's the man I turn the ball next to with the ball, even when he's bowling short side, longer side, doesn't matter. Harmeet Singh's the man that has to bowl.
Coming around the wicket, Netravalkar spears this one into the legs, and they'll collect just a single as Jahangir relays in. 9 runs in the over. Felt like a lot more than that with that thumping 6 from Asif Sheikh. 78 for 1 after 9.
नमस्ते साउजी
नमस्ते
भारत तोरीको तेल पाउन
यो लिनुहोस् नयाँ आएको सस्तो पनि छ
प्राकृतिक राग भएको विश्वासिलो गुणस्तरीय अनि राम्रो नो कम्प्रोमाइज विथ धारा साउजी
विजयजी बडो स्मार्ट हुनुहुँदो रहेछ क्वालिटी हेर्नु हुँदो रहेछ मूल्य होइन
मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु
Partnerships, we've seen it inconsistently at times for the USA, whether that was with Khels and Mukamala, today Mukamala and Milind Kumar, but for Nepal, every single match it's been Rohit Baldo, Dipender Singh Airi, Brutel's been a part of 2 of them now, and now Asif Sheikh is getting in on the act as well.
On cue, you were calling for it, Aman. Harmeet Singh, he's finally appeared here in the 10th over, 1 over before the drinks break, to come on with his left arm spin for USA.
One thing for me, Monik Patel is such an aggressive captain and does odd things at times. You would have thought maybe give 1 over in the power play to a Harmeet Singh and be aggressive knowing you have to take a wicket.
Quicker this time and flatter, but still punched away by Kushal Bertel for a single. In this series, 2 for 18 in the first match on Thursday night, none for 36 last night, and prior to that, 2 for 21 in his previous T20I against Namibia down in Namibia in Windhoek. More flight this time, varying his pace to keep this pair off bounds. At least it does so for one delivery there, as Sheikh shows it some respect by just patting it out to Monank at extra cover. Too short, but Sheikh not quite comfortable with that. Pats it back to Harmeet. Boundary alignment for USA. Deep backward square leg is Jesse Singh. Aaron Jones is at deep mid wicket. Mukamala at long on. Milind Kumar at long off. And Abhishek Paradkar is on as a sub fielder, it looks like. Or is that Shayan Jahangir? It is Shayan Jahangir out at extra cover. And again, so much room out on that leg side boundary. They'll come back very, very easily for 2.
And the one thing for me about bringing Harmeet Singh in now is that you're trying to get back into the game. So Nepal will feel more than comfortable to not have to take Harmeet Singh on. You won't see many expansive strokes unless it's right in the slot. So you really put a lot of pressure on Harmeet to be overly aggressive. Had you brought him in 2 overs or 3 overs sooner, you would have given him a chance to bowl while they're still behind the 8 ball.
You could see Asif Sheikh was thinking about going big. Instead, he's content to tap it for a single to bring up a half century off 38 balls. And it gives another charge into the crowd. The Nepal fans are loving it. It's 83 for 1 at the halfway stage of this innings as the players take a break for drinks.
को ठाउँ फोन पे डिरेक्ट नगद छोडाउ फोन पे गरौ
हाम्रो चाडबाड औटाको खुसियाली बारबार जितौं 10 लाखको उपहार यसपालिको चाडबाडमा स्क्रैच कार्ड मार्फत जित्नुहोस् 10 लाखसम्मको नगद उपहार साथै चुज योर स्किमबाट छान्नुहोस् रु 10,000 सम्मको थप स्क्रैच कार्ड वा 12,500 बराबरको 5 वर्ष एएमसी प्याकेज वा 7 वर्षसम्म बाई 1 गेट 1 सर्भिसिङ फ्री अनि बिग बाइक्समा 1 लाखसम्मको डिस्काउन्ट र यो स्किम होन्डा इजी फाइनान्समा पनि लागू हुनेछ
आज पनि तातो मोमो खाने नो सिनियर पिज्जा प्लेस तातो मोमो खाने हो पिज्जा खाने क्या भाई पिज्जा
Why choose between your favorites when you can have both? Introducing Pizza Hut's all-new Momo Mia.
Momo Mia.
The best of both worlds on one plate. Momo Mia Pizza. Test the epic. Starting at $7.29. Pizza Hut. There's something for everyone.
सही खोजौं, शुद्ध रोजौं. मुटु चाहिन्छ, मुटु.
मेरो मोबाइलमा चल्छ यी सेवा
हाम्रो चाडबाड औटाको खुसियाली बारबार जितौं 10 लाखको उपहार यसपालिको चाडबाडमा स्क्रैच कार्ड मार्फत जित्नुहोस् 10 लाखसम्मको नगद उपहार साथै चुज योर स्किमबाट छान्नुहोस् रु 10,000 सम्मको थप स्क्रैच कार्ड वा 12,500 बराबरको 5 वर्ष एएमसी प्याकेज वा 7 वर्षसम्म बाई 1 गेट 1 सर्भिसिङ फ्री अनि बिग बाइक्समा 1 लाखसम्मको डिस्काउन्ट र यो स्किम होन्डा इजी फाइनान्समा पनि लागू हुनेछ
सही खोजौं मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु
Is Dove really different?
साथीहरु यो च्यानललाई छिटोभन्दा छिटो सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनु होला अब आउने लिग 2 को म्याचेसहरु नेपाल युएसए र स्कटल्यान्डको ओडिया म्याचेसहरु यो च्यानलबाट प्रसारण हुने भएकोले छिटोभन्दा छिटो सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनु होला र तपाई सबैभन्दा पहिला तपाईलाई नै थाहा हुनेछ यो च्यानल सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनु भयो भने धन्यवाद
प्लेटेन्स को जिप या हेयर फॉल को फैसला हेयर प्रॉब्लम्स मतलब हेयर डैमेज डव को 1/4 मोइस्चराइजिङ मिल्क र केराटिन एक्टिव्स ले कपाललाई भित्रैदेखि रिपेयर गर्छ अब सुन्दर लहलहाउँदो कपाल जसमा चल्छ केवल तपाईको मर्जी डव
आज पनि तातो मोमो खाने नो सिनियर पिज्जा प्लेस तातो मोमो खाने हो पिज्जा खाने क्या भाई पिज्जा
Why choose between your favorites when you can have both? Introducing Pizza Hut's all-new Momo Mia.
Momo Mia.
The best of both worlds on one plate. Momo Mia Pizza. Test the epic. Starting at $7.29.
Starts the 11th, and he could have a wicket here. He hasn't had luck earlier in the night. Had a chance, dropped off his bowling in the 4th over, but this time, the man who dropped that earlier chance in the 4th over, Jesse Singh, holds on at long off.
Needed that, did the USA. Had to find a wicket. And this is what Janoy Drysdale can do. He can just surprise you with the bounce that he gets. But Asif Sheikh also knew the situation. Plenty of wickets in hand. Felt that he could go big. He's in that kind of state of mind. He's past his half century. A well-made half century. But Jesse Singh, in the end, holds on to what is a simple catch for the USA. The second wicket falls for Nepal. A well-made 50 for Asif Sheikh. He'll get a handy applause as he departs. And is to put everything he could on to this innings. The end of Asif Sheikh comes. It's 83 for 2.
भाग्यले जहिले साथ देला या नदेला तर ई सेवा लाइफ केयरले दिनेछ starting from just rupees 760 a year. Get coverage up to 5.3 lakhs. Download the eSewa app and secure your future today.
A lot of fans on the Nepal side of things may have been slightly surprised he didn't make an appearance earlier in this Stake Stars and Summit series. Kushal Malla, who packs an awfully big punch. Doesn't USA know it well? He scored a brisk half century in his debut series back in 2020 against this USA side. I was in Kathmandu at TU Stadium. Comes into Texas having scored 12, 30, 4, and 19 in his 4 innings in Canada during the Tri-Series, and he's here because Asif Sheikh went for a tennis racket backhand swat, and instead it's caught by Jesse Singh in somewhat theatrical fashion, falling on his haunches at long off. Kushal Malla made his debut against USA in 2020 as a 16-year-old. He's only 20 now. As a matter of fact, he might have been technically 15. I think it was just before he turned 16 in that series, just before COVID. It was in February 2020. His birthday's in March. And he's got plenty of experience. Again, we talked about with Gulshan Jha, so many of these Nepal players make their debuts as teenagers. He's only 20, and yet he's played 37 ODIs, and this is his 47th T20. Aman, incredible. Drysdale keeping him honest here.
And he's incredibly talented as well. The stats will back up why he's been in the side, and it was almost a surprise that he was left out because he was kind of one of the lone bats up in Canada, but he averages 26 in T20 cricket with a high score of 137, strikes it close to 150. But this is he's almost Aaron Jones kind of player, isn't he? He just takes his time early on and can really get expansive later. But again, for him, the role would have been 2 days ago or the day before where he did play in a similar facet where he was almost just needing to claw the team out of a situation. Now he's got a little bit more freedom, but the situation will suit him where you're just looking at above a run a ball at the moment.
Looks under that one. Drysdale looks like he's done a little bit of scouting against Kushal Malla because Kushal likes it full. He's somebody who will drive all day long. It's pitched up, but not necessarily as comfortable against the short ball. But he can hit it big. If you pitch it up, it's going to disappear. He's got the second most sixes for Nepal in T20I cricket, 65 sixes. Second only to Dipender Singh Airi, who's got 72. So he's got more sixes than Kushal Bertal, Rohit Paudel, Asif Sheikh. That gives a little bit of insight into how much power he can pack once he does get set, as you said, Aman, because he's off to a slow start here. And again, sticking to the plan to keep it short. And yet the timing is exquisite. They didn't want to pitch it up, and yet Kushal Malla makes Drysdale pay anyway, ruins a would-be maiden over. Instead, 4 runs conceded off the final ball. It's 87 for 2 after 11.
भाग्यले जहिले साथ देला या नदेला तर ई सेवा लाइफ केयरले दिनेछ starting from just rupees 760 a year. Get coverage up to 5.3 lakhs. Download the eSewa app and secure your future today.
A little bit with the bat, but now you have the 3 big middle order batters to come. And that's kind of the big deal for Nepal. They have plenty of time. Again, Harmeet Singh's got to find some answers now for the USA. We saw Drysdale get a wicket. Can Singh find one?
He almost did. Hands on head. So close yet so far. Harmeet giving it some air. Spins it past the outside edge. And this was that boundary. Perfect placement, perfect timing by Kushal Malla and the previous over. Back to live action now. And this one skirted wide of Mukamala, out of cover sweeper who fumbles it. And that ever so slight fumble opens the door for a very alert second to be taken by Bertel and Kushamala. Great running between the wickets.
Short side of the ground, and they're able to find it because they run the first one so very hard. Think about in the USA's innings where Mukamala was nearly run out by Aaron Jones trying to run two to the short side. It's because the first one wasn't run as quick. These two, they know the running between the wickets is what's going to win them the matches, and they're doing it to perfection.
This time the sweep, a shot that we really haven't seen a lot of in the series against the spinners, but Bertel gets it for one behind square. Slight change in the field setting for USA as Mukamala, who was at long on in the previous over for Harmeet Singh, swaps places with Jahangir. They want Jahangir on the straight boundary because they feel he's a better option straight down the ground. Kenjige now with Kushal Malla on strike, the left-hander. This is one of the challenges that gets presented, having to swap your fielding alignment around. Kenjige moves from inside the circle out to deep mid-wicket for the left-hander on that short boundary. Mukamala is at deep square leg. Milan Kumar straight at long on. Jahangir at long off. And Monank can't prevent the single on that occasion.
Nearly a superhuman effort there from Monank Patel. He's got it diving to his right. He's falling away. He throws it down. That's why he's gotten a round of applause from Andres Kraus and Harmeet Singh. And efforts like that the USA need to see from really everybody involved, because even if you don't go on to win today's game, you have to find a way to take some momentum with you. Take a look at this. He's dove out to his right. He's able to fling it back. They're going to come back for another 2 runs. This is brilliant stuff here. Harmeet Singh had to go fetch it. But Nepal so aware. And they're doing everything just right.
Kushamala is saying, hey, come on. You got to give me a better heads up than that. Kushal, you got to watch what your teammates have been doing all series. He's not happy because Vijay Malala signaled 1 short. So actually, they're only going to get credit for 1 run there. And because it was Malala who made the signal, it's actually Kushal Bertel who didn't get his bat across the line. Unless the signal came from square leg, Samir Bandekar. So that's why Kushamala not happy. It was actually Mala at the striker's end. The signal came from Bandekar and then was relayed to Vijay Malala. So that's why it was called 1 short, as a wide is signaled here. So 1 illegal delivery left in the over. More flight again, and Monank with another diving stop. He's playing in front of family here. His brother Harsh is in attendance, lives locally here in Dallas, and he's out to support his brother, who makes a great diving stop to deny a single there. 6 runs in the over at 5 off the bat. It's 93 for 2 after 12.
दाइ फोन पे चल्छ है
चलिहाल्छ नि बस्नुस्
अब पैसा भन्ने कुरा जुन बेला पनि चाहिन सक्छ ठाउँको ठाउँ पैसा पठाउन मिल्ने फोन पे त मेरो लागि एकदमै सजिलो उपाय हो
पैसा पठाउने र पाउने छिटो सजिलो र सुरक्षित माध्यम फोन पे डाइरेक्ट नगद छोडौं फोन पे गरौं
Monank Patel, a little bit more swift of foot than of the two, and so now Nash Kenjige coming in. Monank will look to him to deliver that 3rd wicket. They need to find him if the USA want any chance of winning today's matchup.
Inside edge by Mala. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Is Andres Kraus, it's not that he's a bad fielder, but you felt like he was a little bit more anonymous when he didn't have the gloves on for USA, and yet Monank, even though he might prefer to have the gloves on, he's, as you said, got a much better first step attacking the ball in the ring. And in some ways, it's arguably better for USA that Kraus has got the gloves on behind the stumps, and Monank is a much more efficient fielder in the ring as a wide is signaled down the leg side.
Well kept as well from House, probably saved a couple of the runs there.
Darts it in flat and short, and it allows Mala to just tap this off the back foot towards Jesse Singh long on for 1.
You can see the plan here from Kenjige. He's trying to use a little bit of the moisture that's happening right now on the surface, a little bit of the dew, to try to get it to skid on from back of a length. So hopefully for Kinjige, he's trying to just get it to hang a little bit lower. And just as Nepal settles on to the back foot, gets one to sneak through, and he can also flight one up. And as all the weight's on the back foot, create a false shot.
Diving over the ball is Jahangir. USA's fielding just hasn't been good enough tonight or in the series as a whole. Another boundary for Kushal Bertel.
Again, this is just a sign of things not going USA's way. They just haven't found any way to keep momentum on their side straight throughout the series. Too wide from Kinjige. Yes, the arm ball coming back in, but still enough width on offer. Yeah, you can make a face at Jahangir, but not the delivery that Kinjige was looking for. Normally so accurate, hasn't been in complete flow yet.
More flight this time, and still Bertel finds a gap, gets it past Monank and extra cover, and it's got to be cleaned up by Jesse Singh for a very easy 2.
That'll be the 100 for Nepal. And again, we talked about Kinjige unable to be accurate. Another example of that, but how good have Nepal been in this run chase? Again, they've controlled every facet with the bat, even with the wicket falling early. They just seem to never let that affect the way they play. They've been aggressive, they've been smart with their options, their running between the wickets have been good. Kushal Bertel is now starting to put the impetus on himself to score the runs.
Well, the Nepal players are sitting in the dugout as Jahangir makes up for the miss on the previous diving attempt, saves at least 2 runs there. The Nepal players are sitting in the dugout, yet the Nepal fans, they're on their feet. They can't get enough of this. Looking down below us, section 103, section 105. They're on their feet. They're cheering every run. They love everything that this Nepal side has delivered over the course of these 3 matches in this Stake Stars and Summits series. And Nepal, again, looks on course to complete a sweep. Last ball from Kinjige, perfectly weighted by Mala. They're going to look for 2, and they're going to get it quite comfortably. Jesse Singh is not going to relay it back in time. So fantastic running continues between the wickets for Nepal. 11 runs in the over. 10 off the bat. It's 104 for 2 after 13.
1, 2, 5, go! On the Honda Dio.
Bye bye.
On the Honda Dio.
Introducing new Honda Dio 125.
सही खोजौं शुद्ध रोजौं मुटु चाहिन्छ मुटु
मेरो मोबाइलमा चल्छ यी सेवा
Seven overs left, and Kushal Bertel, well, he's picking up from where he left off last night. Andrew Leonard sitting into the hot seat alongside Peter Della Penna for the last time in this series. Peter, I think it's fair to say that this inaugural Stake Stars and Summits trophy has been a huge success, but maybe not in the way in which USA would have wanted it to be on the field. Off the field, it's ticked every box you could imagine. But are we staring now at a potential 3-0 series clean sweep?
But we're staring at that. We're staring at a sea of red, white, and blue Nepal fans. Not red, white, and blue USA fans. It's red, white, and blue Nepal fans who are loving this, Lenny.
There's also, oh dear, a collision, and this could be nastier than we would have liked to have seen. I think it's Milan Kumar, Peter, is it, who... He's just run into the side of Kinjige's shoulder. No communication, because that's in front of one of the most packed parts of the crowd, and Kumar looks in real trouble.
Well, again, in some ways this sums up how USA has struggled this year's communication out there on this occasion. Both guys full of effort to try and stop the second. Kinjige is coming from left to right, Milan Kumar from right to left, and basically Kenjige winds up hip checking Milan Kumar right in the head and shoulder. It was Milan Kumar who bore the brunt of that. Kenjige heading over to collect, and Milan Kumar just collided, got his head and neck right into the hip of Kenjige. He's down on the ground right now.
Yeah, you'd have to think that with only 6.5 overs left after this, that Kumar is not going to be best place staying on. There's ODIs to follow, and that will be the concern right now. In theory, they could utilise a concussion replacement, but a lovely moment. A big ovation from the Nepal fans, because Kumar's just sat up, and you talk about how sporting they have been and their passion for the game. A lot of the Nepal fans who are here are in their adopted home, people who've come over to study and live in the United States, and that for me definitely one of the moments of the series.
Well, it looks like he's maybe just got the wind knocked out of him. I think it was just maybe being stunned by the collision, because he's holding his ribs right now, and the contact was made with his head. If anything, you'd think he'd be grabbing at his head and his shoulder, and now he is grabbing at his shoulder. So again, it's Nash Kenjige coming from deep mid-wicket. He's going left-right. Milan Kumar is coming from long on, going from right to left. And it's his head that collides with Kenjige's hip. And that left shoulder that he was grabbing at just as he walked off the field, that's where the damage was done.
And Peter, for those who know their American cricket like you do, Nash Kenjige might not look imposing, and he's not necessarily a tall figure, but he's a very strong guy. He's a guy who prides himself on phenomenal gym work. And really, Milan Kumar's borne the brunt of that. We wish him well. He's gone off. Yasser Mohammed is his sub-fielder. He's down at long on. And as Kushal Malla is going to take him on and hit it to his right. You sense that Kushal Malla